Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting of the May 24th meeting of the Children and Families Committee to order. This is our sixth and last meeting of the session. First of all, I want to thank Rebecca, my counsel to the committee, and of course Samantha, clerk to the committee, for all the work that they've done this season. So far, we have passed 20 bills since our first meeting in February. We have another 14 bills on today's agenda, and I'm joined by a member of the committee, Senator Diane Savino. I also have voting sheets from Senator Montgomery, Senator Bonasek, Senator Serino, and Senator Prasad. And I'll ask council to read the first bill.
Okay, the first bill on today's agenda is Senate Bill number 1447A by Senator Golden. This is an act to amend the Social Services Law, the Criminal Procedure Law, and the Civil Practice Law and Rules in relation to assisting and protecting victims of domestic violence, child abuse, and child neglect. The bill relates to assisting each of these cases.
There's been no prior action in the committee on this. Based upon the voting sheets, the bill is reported. Myself as chair, I'm voting aye without a rec. Senator Bonasek is aye without rec, and Senator Montgomery is nay.
And I'm without rec.
And you are also without rec. The bill is reported.
The next bill on the agenda is Senate Bill number 3237 by Senator Martins. This is an act to amend the Family Court Act in relation to involuntary treatment services for minors to address the concern of substance abuse in minors by amending the Family Court Act to allow for assessment and treatment services for substance use disorders. This bill passed the Senate at 61-1 in 2015.
Move the bill. Based upon the voting sheets, the bill is reported. Senator Prasad was aye without rec.
The next bill is Senate Bill 5204 by Senator Laval. This is an act to amend the Social Services Law in relation to state reimbursement to certain daycare centers. This will require reimbursement to such providers within 30 days of the receipt of an invoice for services. This passed the Senate unanimously in 2013 and 2014.
Move the bill.
Based upon the voting sheets, the bill is reported.
The next bill is Senate Bill number 6956 by Senator Serino. This is an act to amend the This is an act to amend the Family Court Act and the Criminal Procedure Law in relation to notification of rights of victims of domestic violence in criminal and family court proceedings. This is one in a series of measures being introduced at the request of the Chief Administrative Judge upon the recommendation of his Family Court and Rules Advisory Committee. There's no prior action on this bill in the Senate.
Motion to approve.
Move the bill.
Bill is reported.
The next bill is Senate Bill number 7119 by Senator Kennedy. This is an act to amend the Social Services Law in relation to directing the Council on Children and Families to establish an online listing and map of publicly funded or registered after-school and school-age child care programs, and to expand the duties of the Commissioner of Social Services, and to amend the education law in relation to expanding the duties of the Commissioner of Education. This bill ensures that the Council on Children and Families develops and makes available through its website a listing and map of all recipients of grants awarded or administered by the state for the purpose of providing after-school or summer programs, extended learning time or community schools, and all registered school-age providers registered by the Office of Children and Family Services. This passed the Senate and the Assembly unanimously in 2014, although it was vetoed by the governor, and there are changes to this version.
And in 2014, there was a memo in support from the New York State After School Network and the Association of New York State Youth Bureaus. Motion?
Move the bill. There's one question. Does the bill now address the veto message from the governor?
We were told that. I mean, whether in fact, we could do a little bit more research to see if it addresses each factor, but
hopefully you won't veto it again.
Yeah.
Based upon the voting sheets, the motion is approved. The bill is referred to Finance.
The next bill is Senate Bill 7394 by Senator Serino. This is an act to amend the Family Court Act and the Criminal Procedure Law in relation to order of protection with respect to companion animals. This will extend protections to the pets of victims of domestic abuse by giving the court discretion to forbid contact between the abuser and any pet that is cared for by the victim.
Motion to approve.
Move the bill.
Okay.
Have we ever included animals in family court proceedings?
I haven't done
Family-
any Westlaw searches, but I don't.
It is an interesting
recall.
one. The bill is reported based upon the voting
But
sheets.
they dealt with them in Supreme Court, you know,
Yeah,
division of assets.
it's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, maybe, yeah, I don't know about with.
Next bill.
DB. Senate Bill 7565 by Senator Montgomery. This is an act to amend the Family Court Act in relation to authorizing probation in juvenile delinquent cases to be conditional upon referral for certain family services, and to amend the social services law in relation to family support centers and state reimbursement for expenditures made by social service districts for various services. There's no prior action in the committee on this bill.
Thank you. The bill is reported. Senator Bonasak is aye without rec. The bill is referred to finance. Don't worry, I was kidding.
Senate Bill 7695 by Senator Avella. This is an act to amend the Family Court Act in relation to authorizing family courts to order the local commissioner of social services to notify a respondent's employer upon the disposition of a child protective proceeding when such respondent has contact with children in the course of his or her employment. There was no prior action on this bill in the committee.
And there is a member in support from the New York Public Welfare Association.
This
Motion
would-
to approve.
Move the bill. This would be if the person was, if the finding was, if it was unfounded. How would they know that there was an allegation or an investigation against them? Or I guess if they were applying for a
Yeah.
job that put them in contact with, okay, I get it. So it
Um,
would be for all employment, it would be for anything that would have required a clearance through the state central registry. Just want to make sure I understand what kind of job they're talking about.
The
Thank you.
bill is reported. Senator Montgomery was a nay.
Really?
The next bill is Senate Bill 7696 by Senator Avella. This is an act to amend the Family Court Act in relation to the issuance of orders of protection and child protective proceedings. This bill is meant to allow the family court to issue an order of protection against a person that is not the child's biological or adoptive parent, in addition to being able to issue orders of protection against biological parents found to have severely abused a child. There was no prior action in committee.
And we have a member in support from the New York Public Welfare Association. Motion?
I'll move the bill. Normally, you'd have to go to criminal court for that order of protection, wouldn't you?
That's it.
Yeah.
The bill is reported based upon the voting sheets.
Senate Bill 7697 by Senator Avella. This is an act to direct the Office of Children and Family Services to complete a report on the impact of a tax deduction for expenses, including adoption fees, medical and legal fees, court costs, and any other related expense paid or incurred by a taxpayer attributed to the adoption of a child in foster care. This seeks to help increase adoption rates for thousands of New York State children waiting to be adopted and currently under the custody of the state of New York. There's no
Motion to
prior
accept?
Move the bill.
The bill is approved, and the bill is referred to finance.
The next bill is Senate Bill 7705 by Senator Avella. This is an act to amend the Family Court Act and the Social Services Law in relation to the liability for abuse of a child by a person legally responsible for such a child. In order to protect children from those who have severely abused, including murdered, a child they were responsible for, the appropriate legal definitions must be clarified. Specifically, it must be clear that if a person has severely abused a child, then their own children can be subjects of a derivative legal proceeding to help better protect those children. There's no prior action.
And we have a member in support from the New York Public Welfare Association. Motion to approve?
Move the bill.
The bill is reported.
Next bill is Bill 7715 by Senator Savino. This is an act to amend the executive law in relation to expanding the application of the Runaway and Homeless Youth Program to youth under 25 years of age. There's no prior action on this bill.
The bill is moved and referred to finance.
The next bill is Senate Bill 7845 by Senator Avella. This is an act to amend the Family Court Act, the Education Law, Social Services Law, and the Executive Law in relation to dispositional options and services for juvenile delinquents and persons in need of supervision. This is one of the series of measures being introduced at the request of the Chief Administrative Judge upon the recommendation of his Family Court and Rules Advisory Committee.
Motion to accept?
Move the bill.
Senator Bonasek is aye without rec. The bill is referred to finance.
The next bill is Senate Bill 7846 by Senator Avella. This is an act to amend the Family Court Act in relation to truancy allegations in persons in need of supervision and child protective proceedings in family court. This is one of the series of measures being introduced at the request of the Chief Administrative Judge upon the recommendation of his Family Court and Rules Advisory Committee.
Motion to accept.
Move the bill.
Senator Serino is aye without a rec. The bill is reported. Again, I want to thank everybody for Senator Savino for attending today's committee meeting, and of course all the advocates that we've worked with during this session. Thank you.